Dja, peace and blessings. Seba Dja, can you hear me and see me? Dja, thank you for joining. So today we are going to do another Goddess Aset, and we're going to do a replay of Goddess Aset. And I will again try to cut out some of the portions that hopefully everyone in here has heard before. Sa'ank is, or or Sa'ank is a reciprocation of what we will be receiving for our devotion, for being here, for showing up at this early time in the morning to have this divine connection with the Neteru, this intimate connection with the Neteru. And as a result, what we get is divine grace. And the divine grace, as we recall, is not just the blessings that come to us, but it's the purification of our RU, leading to us having that conscious knowledge of our essence as the divine. So it bestows that knowledge that comes from Ra. So we do start off with Ra in this series meditation because Ra is the creator spirit being that creates everything in creation, including us. And so in that way, we all connect to our oneness with each other, and that oneness that comes out of the one that's Nebuchadnezzar. So all of that is encapsulated, and it's about that protective energy consciousness that we call Sa'ank that gets transmitted to us, purifies the RU in our hearts so that we can experience the innermost divinity in our heart, which is our tutelary divinities as well as Ra. And that's the essential nature of our metaphysical self. So we are basically getting back to a pure essence, a deeper essence of ourself that establishes the personality, and we're aligning with those essences. And then that will help align the personality. And then also we're going retrograde also, if you want to look at it that way, back to Ra, and then through Ra through Khepera to Nebuchadnezzar, because Nebuchadnezzar says, I came forth in the form of Khepera. So we are dissolving creation in a way, going back to Khepera as well. So we're having both of those aspects of the transcendental aspect of creation, that is our true essence, as well as the full expression of creation, that also is our true essence. So peace and blessings to you for joining. And I'm going to do the replay of the one we did, I think it was August 26th, so I can partake in it as well. And the song we had this morning, the Dja Asar, is hopefully a prelude to next week's on Asar. It's going to be an Asar, but it's also going to be on Aset as well, because I'm going to use the panel from the Asar Chapel, where Asar has his wings, where Asar is being embraced by the wings of the goddess. So hope you can join again next week. And worst case scenario next week, gosh, another goddess Aset. What can we do? Peace and blessings, and I'll go ahead and start the video. That's up. So the focus of this panel that we're going to emphasize is related to the divine love, and we term that Sa'ank, or divine grace, also the divine in the heart, the idea of being nursed and reared by the divine, being a child of the divine, seated in the divine lap, being cared for by the divine, and the divine also enriching us with spiritual strength so that wherever we go, we become the strength that we can share with others. And a recognition of our majestic nature. So we will begin, and we will activate and invoke the deep rhythmic breathing, as our proverb tells us, as our wisdom teaching tells us, or Kemetic teaching tells us to be as the sun and the stars that emanate the life-given essence, give life without asking for anything in return. To be as sun, breathe rhythmically and deeply, then as Ra, the divine creator self, spirit, shall you be. So we're going to breathe through the nostrils and use also what we call belly breathing. We're going to use belly breathing, we're going to use heart breathing. So we're going to start off with belly breathing. Our lungs are not in our belly or heart, but we are going to use the belly breathing because it activates the diaphragm, the breathing muscles properly, and allows us to take a full breath. So sitting with your spine straight. Pull the abdomen into the spine and exhale gently. And then inhale, expanding the abdomen out like a balloon. Exhale, gently pulling the abdomen towards the spine. So put one hand on the chest and one hand on the abdomen. And for this initial warm-up of the proper breathing or belly breathing, we're just going to feel movement primarily in the belly area. So again, as you inhale, you feel the hand that you have there expand out. As you exhale, the hand pulls in gently towards the spine. Inhale, deeply and rhythmically. Exhale. And we're going to breathe as if to the count of 5 seconds. However, just don't get caught up in the count-in part of it. Just breathe deeply and rhythmically in according with your capacity. Inhale, Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, Om 5. Exhale, Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, Om 5. Inhale, Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, 5. Exhale, Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, Om 5. Just continue a few more breaths in your own just to connect with the breath in the belly and the deep rhythmic breathing. We're not holding the breath. We're just breathing deeply in and out. So this is proper breathing, and it's really how we should be breathing at all times throughout the day. So if it's not your natural breath, then you can set your alarm reminders throughout the day to take a few minutes to check the breath and to connect with the breath into the proper breathing technique. When you lay on your back, you automatically breathe according to the belly breathing technique because it's a natural breath when we're relaxed. And now moving into the deep 3-part breath. So now we'll feel the hand and the chest also moving a little bit. So we're going to inhale, abdomen, chest, and shoulders. Feel in the whole chest and shoulders raise up a little bit. And then exhale, reverse, releasing the shoulders, chest, abdomen into the spine. Inhale, abdomen, chest, and shoulders. Exhale, releasing shoulders, chest, and abdomen. So we'll do this also for the count of 5 seconds approximately. Again, just for you according to your own comfort level. Inhale, Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, Om 5. Exhale, Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 5. Inhale, Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 5. Exhale, Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, Om 5. Continue a few more breaths on your own. Connect into the deep rhythmic breathing. Now you're feeling the chest expand, the hand moves there as well. That's it. You can release your hands back down and continue the proper breathing or deep rhythmic breathing as we move forward, whichever is easier for you. So today we're going to have the Aset head ab, and actually it would be Her, H-E-R-T, because it's female, head ab, meditation. Head ab or head ab relates to the innermost entity and essence within the heart of the royal personality. So the question, and the royal personality relates to the temple aspirant or the temple initiate. And the question for you is, do you feel yourself to be that royal personality? As an aspirant, you should feel that I am the royal personality. And so these panels, where they depict in the royal personality in the role of Heru, at times, like in this panel we're looking at here, where the royal personality is seated on the lap of the goddess and she says that you're my son. So that temple initiate, that spiritual aspirant, is that royal personality. And who is Goddess Aset, our divinity of focus? Just briefly, she's the divine mother of Heru. Heru is symbolic of the spiritual aspirant that achieves spiritual victory and attains spiritual enlightenment, guided by Goddess Aset. She's the divine goddess. She's a healer and protector of the soul we call Asar, your soul, my soul, the same soul, and Heru, the royal person, the temple initiate. She is the cosmic principle of intuitional wisdom and non-duality. It allows us to have knowledge of our true transcendental self. So she's her sa'ang, her divine grace that she bestows is very important for spiritual evolution. And so as we will see with this program, it's a wisdom process where we're going to listen to reflect and meditate on the teachings and and not just the teachings in terms of readings, we're going to have a scriptural reading, but teachings in terms of the feelings, of the thoughts, of the integration of the thoughts, integration of the feelings, of the emotions, all of that is considered to be the reflective process, and also the visualizations that we're going to partake of as well. And then with that, we go into a deep meditation. So we may not be able to get that deep into meditation here because of the time, but you can continue the process afterwards. So who is Aset? I said before, she is this, she's all of these things that I just mentioned. And for our process here in our theistic religious process of Sheto Neteru, the Egyptian mysteries, the Kemetic mysteries, these gods and goddesses are our own cosmic principles. They're aspects of our own metaphysical being. And so in that respect, you should consider Aset as your divine mother, because the scripture says you are her divine son, child, daughter. She is your protector and your healer of your soul and your spiritual aspiration as she performs these processes in the myths, especially the Assyrian resurrection myth. And she's your intuitional wisdom. She is your capacity to have knowledge and insight and intuition into your transcendental, nebulous, all-encompassing nature. And that's it, spiritual enlightenment. So even though one may feel, oh, I'm not enlightened now, there's an aspect of you that knows you are the divine self, you are nebulous, you are transcendental self, and that Aset holds that knowledge, and she's an aspect of you. So if you identify with her, you have that awareness as well too. You just have to move away what we call impurities, or are you obstructing mental impressions that are blocking that awareness, and we'll see that in a moment. So if I were to ask you to show me a photo of you, of your spiritual aspiration, and of your intuitional wisdom, you could very well show me an image of this panel. And that would show me your spiritual aspiration as the royal personality in the role of Heru, sitting in the lap of the goddess of intuitional wisdom, Aset. So as you look upon this panel, you should feel that you're looking at yourself, aspects of yourself. So there's no idolatry here, there's no possessions. This is advanced mystic theurgy, or which involves ritual practice as well. We're engaged in a certain wisdom, meditation, theurgy, and metaphysics. And this is mystic psychospirituality, which is what the Kemetic or ancient Egyptian mysteries are. So we'll have just a couple of opening chants, and we'll do call and response in your own sacred space with your microphone off. You can do the response. So first, we'll start out with Ra, even though Ra is not the divinity of today. As we know, Ra is the creator divinity of the Neteru, including goddess Aset in the creation myth that we practiced last week. And Ra, in the form of Nu in the primeval ocean, brings forth all creation out of himself, his own body. So there, through Ra, we also get oneness, an underlying oneness of all creation, of you, of I, of everything, the essence of everything. There's an underlying oneness to the essence of everything. Everything, even though it has different shapes and forms, these keperu, these appearances, it's underlying, there's this oneness. And that underlying oneness is the basis of having ethical conscience, ma'at, this recognition of this universal spiritual reality. And also through Ra, one of Ra's children is Shu, relates to air, space, and breath through what we call Shuaku. And it's an ethereal light of Ra that allows us to have that spiritual vision. And it's like, when we close our eyes, we can still visualize. That's that ethereal light of Ra that has that. And it has a subtle aspect that leads us to experience the oneness of Ra. So as last week, I have a recording here that has a call and response. I will chant with the call, and then you can chant with the response. Market Abdu pet Anates Rake ETM Kepara Kemon Neteru Kake Unke Pasaputke Katiam Sutem Neteru. Adorations to Ra as he rises in the horizon eastern of heaven. Homage to Ra, coming forth as Keper, the creator of the gods and the goddesses. Rising thee, shining thee, lighting up thy mother, goddess Nut, the sky, rising as Lord, King of the gods and the goddesses. And then we'll do a chant to the Trinity of Osiris, Set, and Heru. Bastuaku, if you're available, are you available to do the response for this one?
Uja Seba Dja, Uja Ni, Neteru.
Okay, do it. Om Asar Set Heru.
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 The one divine self manifesting as the Trinity of the divine Father, Mother, and Child. And Bastiku, if you're on, if you can do the Aset chant.
Dja, Dua. Aset. 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 Attack.
Aset, Dua. So an important aspect of the Herat meditation is to understand and be ready to receive Sa'ang, which we also refer to as divine grace. So the abbreviated explanation of Sa'ang is the divine grace. Head is female goddess. Meditation, it purifies the heart. So it has many other benefits as far as its technical practice. The way we're going to perform it with the breath and breathing as if from the heart, it's a heart-based meditation process, and it has been studied and researched, this aspect of breathing as if breathing from the heart, and it has numerous benefits. So just deep breathing itself has numerous benefits as far as bringing relaxation and healing capacity and the best mental health capacity for the personality when personality is relaxed and at peace. And it helps. And so the particular aspect of the breathing through the heart also has been studied for benefits of the best cognitive balance in the brain. So the heart as it has its own nervous system and as it has its own brain. So we know the gut has its own neural network. So the heart has a very intensive neural network and sends 9 times as messages from the heart to the brain compared to the brain going to the heart. So when the heart is balanced, when the heart is coherent, there's an integration that occurs. And when this integration occurs within the different nervous systems, the heart, the gut, the brain, then that's the best aspect of function of the physical body, of the mind, the best healing aspect. So there are all of these mind body optimal healing capacity, and healing in terms of enlightenment is a healing process. Removing oneself, getting rid of egoism. Egoism is like a disease of the world process. And when we remove egoism, that allows us to experience our true essence. That is spiritual healing, the true spiritual healing. And so this is leading us to have mind, body, spirit, soul healing. So here I have a picture of the what's called the heart or the ab. So, Dja, I just wanted to add here for today that also we can see Ma'at in there also, right? being light as the heart being light as a feather of Ma'at. And so when the heart, when the Neteru is what resides in the heart, instead of the negative or egoistic are you, then that means the heart is as light as the feather of Ma'at. So it's the same concept of having a light heart, a purified heart. We see the image here, the hieroglyph images. This the face is like the personality. That's called the head or the head. Here, and then this is the ab, the heart. And so it's not really referring to the physical heart, but yet at the same time, we connect it to the physical heart, right? Our heart is heavy with sorrow. That means like we put things in our heart essence or innermost heart that are sorrowful. My heart is joyful. That means like we are connecting our heart to things that are joyful. So just another point here, when I say we put things in our heart, before things are put into a heart, they stay in our mind. So the things our mind is thinking, and especially when there's deep feeling, the thought plus deep feeling equals are you in the heart. So it's either going to be worldly, egoistic are you going into the heart, or if we are able to hold images of our deeper self, spiritual teachings in our mind, then, and we have a feeling aspect that goes along there, right? Wisdom and devotion, meditation and devotion. So if we're able to have that, and Ma'at and devotion, if we're able to have that devotional capacity, that gives us our feeling capacity. That is purifying the RU and put in the right feeling so that we can have right thinking, so we can have critical thinking. So all of that is tied in together to this process of the Herat meditation. So when we hold these images that we're going to look and hold them in our heart, as I'm going to have you do as we proceed, it's very important to engage that process and keep going back to holding the image in the heart, because we're reactivating and realigning and recalibrating the thought and the essence of our heart, the purity of the heart. We're not working in this particular meditation to scrub away the impurities by focusing on them consciously. That is going to be an automatic process, because when the Neteru reestablished their place in the heart through our thinking and the song is going on, it's going to push out the ignorance. Just like when you flip a light switch in a dark room, the light turns on and immediately the darkness go away. The darkness could have been there for decades. Maybe nobody entered the room for decades. And you walk in and flip the switch, 1 second it goes off. So some it takes us a longer time to purify, and some it is just like switching a light switch of the Neteru activation on. Okay, that's it. So there is like a psychological and physiological connection that we have to our heart in relation to the Ab, which is related to the unconscious mind in the Kemetic tradition. So what this temple, and what you keep breathing as you're listening, because this is something we tend to do. We tend to get caught up in what we're listening to, and we forget the breath. And the breath is the underpinning. The deep breathing is the underpinning of this process. So keep your deep breath going, bringing yourself back to it, even as you're listening, so that we are working on those mechanisms, that the breath, the shuaku, all of that purification that's going on, shu and tefnut being activated, that's going on. This Temple of Asar, it has all of the different divinities, and it goes through telling us with each one of these divinities is the head ab or the head ab of the royal personality, the temple initiate. So it really impresses that what should be in our heart, like where they live and where they should live, is in the heart. That's where we can find them. And if we find them, then all of these principles that they represent will express in our personality. So why doesn't that happen? Well, because we have obstructions and we have what's called RU. And so this is cleansing the obstructions, this participation. So we'll... So the video is available from last week, or the original video that goes through the deeper explanation of the Sa'ang and of the Per Aah process. So we're just skipping those a little bit today. Hopefully we're just given a foundational level of those so we can have more time for the meditation. That you can almost see through them and block the vision of the Per Aah Neters, the divine essence. So we want to put in positive, rate, our feeling. Some of you came on earlier and you heard the Akua song by Seba Dja. So I'm going to play that to generate the feeling of Goddess Aset. And what I want you to do is to sit back and really engage your deep 3-part breathing. You can look in the screen at the images, hold the images in your mind's eye, and then or you can the words to the song are here, so you can sing along with the song also. This devotional song to Goddess Aset. So here I said to hold the image in the mind's eye, meaning the third eye, meaning the point between the eyebrow, because that is the seat of Goddess Aset. That is her place, her throne, upon which Asar sits, is that sixth energy center at the point between the eyebrows. So right now we're activating our Aset principle, and then we will go to the heart principle after this. So as you partake in, you are welcome to sing and chant out loud along with Seba Dja, and we say dua to Seba Dja here as well too, allowing our gratitude to flow for our Goddess Aset, the Neteru flowing through him, bringing forth this beautiful music, and allowing ourselves to really absorb it. It's about us. It's about Aku, that I am. It's a feeling. So it's an intimate experience of Aku. There's an aspect of us that already is aware of our true essence, Goddess Aset. So even though there's another aspect that is seeking for that awareness, it's already there. And Aset is that awareness, that intuitional awareness at the sixth energy center, the sixth Epic Bara, the sixth soul of Ra, or chakra. So either way, you want to close and meditate and breathe. This is not the practice of the Herat. This is just preparing us and getting us to have that uashu, that devotional feeling. Oops. And I may play all of it or just part of it. Aku, glory, 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 glory. That was Seba Dja singing, and he composed that music as well. So right now I want to take us to a visit to the Temple of Asar, where we can actually see the panel. So this is not the panel, but this is another similar panel I wanted to share. So we see a goddess, and I believe it's Aset, but I can't see. And she's nursing the royal personality. Just as we are here in the temple, even though I know we entered as if we were beamed right to the spot, just take a moment to connect with the clergy, previous initiates of the temple, and feel enclosed by the temple walls and the blessings that abound from the temple environment. We are a virtual temple. Nonetheless, there are metaphysical walls surrounding us and binding us all as aspirants, as initiates within the temple. So feel enclosed in that. And feel connected to all aspirants seeking spiritual enlightenment in the world. Part of this lineage comes from Neteru, and whatever name other traditions may use. This is our essential religion of all human beings. Peace and blessings to all sages. And connect to your own desire to be part of the lineage of sages. In the next panel, we're going to look at the panel of our focus. We'll see it says Heru, wherever Heru goes, wherever the aspirant goes, you want to be the strength there. That's what you're leading yourself to be the strength wherever you go. That means that you're going to be that aspect of allowing the manifestation of the divine to flow through you. So in this panel, we see Goddess Aset suckling the aspirant, that milk that she's passing on through you. The wisdom of herself does not stay with you. You are to awaken the intuitional capacity in others that you relate the teachings to as well, and facilitate their spiritual nourishment. So what is she feeding and nursing him with? The milk of spiritual wisdom, of intuitional wisdom. So take a moment and feel nourished by the milk of intuitional wisdom, because that's you nursing you. Your Aset capacity nursing your Heru capacity within you. Male or female, you have energies of male or female. Now, we're not talking about physical body parts, we're talking energies, manifestation of energies that have a tendency. These are the scenes that are present here, this very devotional. This is what we call the chapel hallway. And this is the scene that we are going to be focusing on here in the chapel hallway. And just for time's sake, I'm not, I came directly to the scene, but you can see all the scenes are, very devotional, all the panels. And so this one is a trilinear translation of the hieroglyph text, and a photo by myself, Dr. Dja Karen Clarke-Ashby, Seba Dja. And so we saw that it's from the Temple of Asar in that chapel hallway with the royal personalities of child on the lap of Goddess Aset. Let's take a moment to focus on the framed picture and to breathe it in. As you look at it, what feelings are generated in you? As you can look at the hieroglyphs also, but especially to look at the imagery, the image of Goddess Aset sitting there, the royal personality child in the form of a child. So, in psychology, I guess they have the inner child. Well, this is the spiritual inner child that is being cared for by Aset, and the stare they have into each other's eyes, and the serpents also on the royal personality, and also connecting with the serpents and the vulture and the headdress of Goddess Aset. So through those serpents connecting is the activation of the Arat second, the serpent power in the royal personality, the Sefek Per Aah, the energy centers, and specifically here, we're having communication of the sixth and seventh, non-duality, unitary consciousness being transmitted. The hand behind the head also, the one underneath the chin, the one behind head, that intimate posture of love, of care, of focus, of attention. She is gently directing the aspirant to keep that focus and that attention her and her alone. So the transmission can be activated. So that attentiveness and devotion. And also the serpent on the sun disk, which relates to the raising of the serpent power energy. And the throne, the Simon, the throne, which means union of the Lord and the higher self, unitary consciousness. And we see Aset. Here we see her feathers, right? Because we know she has an avian aspect also, an avian form. And so we see the feathers as they wrap around her legs. Notice the detail. So her outfit is like a feather dress. And especially look at how the hand gently comes up on the chin, under the chin of the royal personality. So when you look at these images, what are you thinking and what are you feeling? So just to be aware of that, to note that within yourself. Be aware of it and also hold it in the mind as a thought and a feeling. in alignment. And this is something you can go back to through the course of the day at any time. Not just as a general visitor to the temple, but using all your knowledge and understanding of the teachings. What are you thinking as an aspirant, as an initiate? What are you feeling as an aspirant, as an initiate? Remember that you are both the royal personality, Heru sitting on the left, and also there's another aspect of you that is Goddess Aset. One aspect is to realize that if you're here on this program today, that is an aspect that you are deeply cared for, that your Aset took the time to wake you up this morning to have a connection with her in a deeper way, to keep purifying that relationship. That is Sa'ankh right there. That is being cared for by the goddess, your essence. So we're going to read I'm going to read the columns, the 5 columns, translation. The transliteration and the contextual translation. So the first and the third column. Melu Dja Aset Ur Neteru Mut Per Aah, the royal personality, En Sa Ze Meri Zi. These words are being spoken by the great goddess Aset, the great goddess, the divine mother Aset, who is the innermost entity and essence of in the heart of the royal personality, the temple initiate. So we see here that she is the divine mother in the innermost heart of the royal personality. This is the name of the royal personality of the temple. So this would be your name that would be put in there. She speaks these words to the royal personality, who is her own child and who is beloved by her. So there's this feeling that one should be having also with this panel of being beloved by the goddess, being loved by Goddess Aset, this divine love that we call Mer. And you can speak your name in the place of the royal personality's name. And she is the divinity in one's heart, in your heart. Neptawi Ra Mat Men, the name of the royal personality, and K Sa Per. Aset is speaking to the royal person, the initiate, threading the royal path to spiritual victory. Aset says, "You are my child. You're my son. You're my daughter. Heru. You shall go forth as Lord or Mistress of Upper and Lower Kemet," meaning you have sovereignty over duality, meaning that you have attained a state of non-duality, of unitary consciousness. NKM Ren Nen N to Ed Hekatawi. Aset continues, "I have cared for you and have reared you to be the sovereign over duality. You now have that state of unitary consciousness and are no longer plagued by the duality of limited conscious awareness." Because she herself is intuitional awareness, so that's what she has reared the aspirant to be. Senect en how km en nect erta net p2. Aset continues, this state of unitary consciousness causes spiritual strength in your body parts, all 9 parts of the personality. This inner strength then projects out to the world so that there is spiritual strength to all the land when you arrive anywhere, wherever you are. So just think about that you're not going to be weak, that, people need help, people need assistance, and you will be that source of spiritual strength just by your very being, So wherever you are, you will carry that spiritual strength with you because it's an inner experience, inner achievement. And this is a panel from the same temple that says, that says, Heru Nub Se Nect Kemet. It says, Heru of gold causes spiritual strength in Kemet. And so it gives that same idea of this Heru, spiritual aspirant royal personality, that basically has this inner strength, this Nect. And wherever he goes, she goes, that is there with them. That's the essence of who they are. And that comes from Aset. K M Suten He Heru Sek and Jeta. Aset continues. It is a majestic achievement of redeeming your Asar nature to experience yourself as the Lord of forever and King of eternity, and to be permanently established and set in place as Heru forever. So this is a majestic view. This is a majestic achievement of redeeming one's soul essence and having that unitary consciousness to discover one's transcendental assets and be set and established permanently in the state of enlightenment. And so that is also what Aset is given in the Sa'ank of her seer and her gentle touch to the royal personality. And this aspect of majestic you is very significant. Very significant for purifying the heart of any feeling of what we term in this culture low self-esteem, or feeling bad about oneself, or oneself is not good enough, or oneself doesn't have the capacity to do the teachings, or one is a screw up, or one made a mistake. Any of those, allow them to be cleansed. It says majestic you. Again, I think I said it last week, there's a t-shirt that I think one of my nieces or nephews or something used to have, and it said I can't remember what it says, I am worthy, or something like that, or I'm something like, maybe you all seen the t-shirt, it says, but it goes on to say, because God doesn't make any junk. In a nutshell, that summarizes it, that the divine only produces the divine, and therefore the divine does not produce anything other than majestic thine, than majestic you. Aset is calling you out, right? She's calling you out. We have people call us out by things that we are not, but we can identify with those things. Sometimes we take in other people's opinions, other people's stuff that they're going through, they put it out there, and then we identify with it from childhood to adult, past lives. And this is reestablished in us, our true self. Majestic you. So say that. Majestic me. M. Majestic K. Majestic thine. That thine refers to the royal personality, the temple initiate. Hem Nuke, majestic I am. So really connect with that, because you're being called out, mystically, metaphysically called out. So if we are all in a group and I say, hey, hem, K, everyone should answer. So set that, and that majestic you, look at the image of Heru. You're being called out in your Heru name. And you're going to be set in place as Heru forever. Never are you going to be anything other than Heru. So now we'll start the Aset Heartfelt Breathing Herat Devotional Meditation proper. Focusing on these points of Sa'ang, the divine grace, through the stare, through the touch, through the sitting on the lap and being close to the divine. And see her other hand also is behind the head. She always is concerned with the head of the royal personality, because the head symbolizes our or conscious awareness aspect. It was very gentle touch with that. And so the Sa'ang, the divine in the heart, the nursing and rearing. So if we're reared by her, she's taught us in those ways that she is, those cosmic principles, and that also gives us our spiritual strength when we know our true self, and that aspect of our being is here and now. So it's not, we don't become majestic when we become enlightened. We are majestic now because we are the divine, and Aset, that aspect of ourselves, is attuned to that here and now. So we'll begin with the process. So we'll go through different phases or stages, and some of the stages will be listening to reflections, and some will be deep visualizations with feeling. And we'll probably spend about 10 minutes or so on 5 or 10 minutes or so on one of the stages for just a deeper reflection meditation process with heartfelt feeling. We might spend a little longer today. And then you can also engage the process later on today if you have time on your own as well too. So first we're going to activate the breath with deep rhythmic breathing, no breath holding. We've already done that activation, so now we're just becoming consciously aware of it again. Not counting, but just deep rhythmic breathing. Next, we're going to activate the heart center, and we're going to do that by taking our attention to the heart area on the chest. And we're going to take one hand, either right or left, and you place it over the chest area of the heart center. And take just a few deep breaths there. The hand helps to bring the attention and focus there and anchor it. And you can remove the hand or keep it there, whichever you prefer. And now we're going to activate the heart-based breathing. So we're going to imagine and visualize as if we're breathing from the heart. So as if our deep rhythmic breathing is occurring from the heart. Next, as we know, the Neteru comes from Ra, and Ra is the creator divinity, the creator of all things. We're going to connect to the sense of oneness with all creation, that everything in creation is made up of the same essence, what we call Ra or Noon, the primeval ocean, as we learned in the creation myth. We're just going to allow ourselves to feel a connection and oneness with all creation, with all nature, including the essence of all people, family, and everyone in creation, everything in creation. Just cultivate that feeling. If there's a feeling of oneness, if you have someone in a relationship and you feel, or a child, and you feel that sense of oneness with them, use that feeling to generate that sense of oneness, and then allow it to flow towards your cosmic principle of the creator spirit, which is the source of the oneness. So you can use regular relationships and situations in life that generate these positive feelings if you find it hard to cultivate it towards the divinity right away. And then when you generate those positive feelings through relationships, you remember in a situation you're happy, or a person that makes you feel joyous, or someone that you're grateful to have in your life, you can use those feelings and then recognize the essence of all those persons and situations is the divine self, is Ra, Noon. And now we are going to connect with the one transcendental consciousness that's even behind Ra, that's behind the creator spirit, that emanates or creates a creator spirit, and that we call Neteru, the transcendental divinity, which is one. So there's only not just oneness of things, there's just one essence, Neteru. So we're still breathing through the heart, feeling as one, just one. No questions in the mind, just feeling as one. And now we're going to refocus on our panel that comes forward through Neteru, through Ra, Noon. Ra creates the Neteru composed aspects of the humans of the royal personality. So focus on the image, and you can close your eyes after you focus and try to hold it in your mind's eye for a period of time. When it fades, you can open it back up again. You can either close your eyes and focus on the heart-based breathing, or if you want to open your eyes and keep looking at the image on the screen, you may do so also. And you can do a combination of both as well. The heart-based breathing is to be done both ways. It is to be done open-eyed during the course of your day. So this is not something that just stays here. It is something you can do at any time during the course of your day to have this connection. And the breathing itself is to be a mindfulness aspect that you can continue throughout the day. And the imagery, again, you can hold on to that as well too when you engage in a more formal or quiet practice now and throughout the day. So eyes open, eyes closed, either way. So continue to breathe as if through the heart, the slow, deep breathing. And you're going to visualize this image on the screen, the image we've been looking at of Aset and Heru, the royal personality, seated on the lap of Goddess Aset. You're going to visualize that in one's heart center. The heart center that you're breathing in and out of, you're going to visualize that image there. With the awareness that you are Aset and you are Heru also. Both aspects are of your metaphysical being. You have an aspect of your being that is the divine grace, and that bestows that divine grace or sa'ang on the other aspect that is your spiritual aspirant nature. That aspect is your Aset aspect, and that aspect knows your true essence. That aspect protects you. That aspect heals you. That aspect is devoted to you. That aspect loves you. That aspect thinks you are majestic. That aspect thinks you are spiritually strong. And that aspect is your own divine mother, your cosmic mother, and loves you 100-fold love of a mother for a child. This is unwavering love. So you have this aspect, this goddess Aset aspect that treats you with great caring and great compassion. Breathing in and out to the heart and holding this image there. feeling the caring, the compassion, feeling protected, safe, healed, loved, and that you know your true essence as the all-encompassing divinity. You have an aspect of you that is the royal personality Heru aspect seated in the lap, and allow this aspect open for his heart to receive the sa'am from Goddess Aset, the principle of intuitional wisdom. Allow this aspect to open his or her heart to receive this divine grace of caring and compassion from the Divine Mother. Feel that one's heart is becoming filled with compassion and caring and love and strength and a majestic nature. There's so much love and caring and compassion that it overflows from your heart. You allow it to extend out to all creation, to family, to all creation, nature, to people, all creation. You're sending out this abundance of caring and compassion to all, and including your own royal personality, Heru self. Also, you are sending your royal personality self, who's received it, is sending it also to your own royal personality self in a capacity of self love, of self compassion, of self caring, of self healing. Deeply focusing on the image again, as the royal personality Heru sitting in the lap of the goddess, staring into her eyes. Accept the sa'am, the divine grace blessings of the goddess through that stare. Through the gentle touch of her hands, caressing the chin and the back of the head, through the steadiness of her muscles and her thighs as you sit on them. What do you feel flowing from her heart to yours? Breathing from that heartstone, deep rhythmic breathing. Connecting to Goddess Aset as the innermost essence. And again, you can use your spiritual teacher, friend, a parent, a child, to help you generate those feelings. All those positive feelings flow from the divine. Allow heartfelt gratitude to flow to her from your heart. So now from your heart to hers, in your heartfelt breathing. In gratitude for her sa'ang, her divine blessings, her divine grace, the gifts to you of non-duality, of unitary consciousness, to know your true transcendental self and spiritual strength. Allow that gratitude to flow as a gratitude for the teachings, for the blessings of the teachings, for the blessings of all the clergy of Kemet, all the spiritual teachers, preceptors that have facilitated the temple system that allows us to be able to gain this wisdom and partake in the Heartfelt of Goddess Aset in our day and time, in the here and now. Remember, Aset said, this state of unitary consciousness causes spiritual strength in your body parts and all the 9 parts of the personality. And this strength then projects out to the world so that there is spiritual strength to all the land when you arrive anywhere, wherever you are. Feel that spiritual strength, that you are spiritual strength. Breathe into that with the image still being held. As you sit there, you are spiritual strength. Continue to let gratitude and divine love overflow in your heart, divine feeling overflow in your heart, as you look into her eyes and know that you are safely in the hands of your mystic mother, the Goddess Aset. Her hands also have the wings in them, so remember you're being also enfolded at the same time in her wings, in protection, in healing, in resurrection, in intuitional wisdom. All these are flowing to you, flowing to your majestic nature. So for a few moments, we'll go deeply into that, those feelings, and the image and the breathing in the heart center. bring in your attention to that attentiveness of the goddess, that divine stare, focus, breathing through the heart, flowing with divine love and gratitude and care and compassion and joy. Again, if there's a child, a person, a grandparent that you have identified with strength or love or compassion or joy, a teacher, a spiritual teacher, go to those places to tap into those emotions, those feelings, bring them up in gratitude for those persons, and then the essence of those persons being the divine, being your own divine essence. The feelings they shared with you was a projection outward for you to experience what was inward. It was always Aset. It is always Aset. It's an inward experience and an outer reality. We have this mother energy come into us in so many ways in the course of a day. The person that smiles at you, it looks into your eyes and just out of nowhere just smiles at you. That's Goddess Aset. The person that says a kind word to you, that's Goddess Aset. The person you say a kind word to, that's Goddess Aset. The person you look through their outer egoism deep into their heart and see the goddess there, that's Goddess Aset. The person that sees beyond your outer facade to something deep within you, that's Goddess Aset. Always working her magic. And we have to be open to receive her blessings. Keep receiving that praise, that flow of Sa'ang, third eye, at the heart, in every aspect of her being, breathing through the heart center still. It's flowing through every aspect of her being. All our metu are being cleansed. Everything is being filled. Sa'ang, 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 divine grace, knowledge of self, love, compassion, gratitude, caring, safety, healing. Focus on the way the body feels at the moment. Feel it. Allow this feeling, this divine, majestic feeling, to steep into every aspect, every pore, to be filled with this feeling. Feel how the heart feels. Feel how the eyes feel, the head, the hands, the feet. How does it feel? And gratitude flows through your Neteru, flows through your veins, flows through your energy centers, when love and caring flows from the goddess. In your head, Ab, your innermost essence of your heart. When that innermost essence is established, head, Ab, these are the feelings that flow. How special I am. How spiritually strong I am. Not just holding the imagery, but actually feel that you are sitting on the lap of your own cosmic principle of intuitional wisdom. You are so close to each other in this caring, loving experience. Live forever in the King of eternity, and be permanently as Aset says to you, absorb it, take it, and receive what she says to you. She says, it is a majestic achievement of redeeming your Asar nature to experience yourself as the Lord of forever and the King of eternity, and be permanently established and set in place as Heru, my child, forever. Dja, continuing the heart-based breathing, and as long as you can continue that process throughout the day, this officially concludes her program. For those who are able to stay on a little longer, I will finish playing out the program. For those who are able to stay longer, and it concludes in a music video with Seba Dja singing Glory to Aset. I encourage you to journal when you leave here. Take a few moments to sit with yourself and to journal your feelings, the thoughts that generated those feelings, the gratitude. Write one person or one thing you're grateful for. And have a blessed day. looking at the image, holding on to all the feelings. When you leave, if you have time, you can journal your feelings, your thoughts, what you received from her, in addition to what the scripture shared that she gives. And we'll conclude. Do it for joining. Om Hatap, 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 Hatap. Om peace, 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 peace. So do it for joining, and if anyone has time and you want to stay tuned, we'll play the Dja. So the feathers on Goddess Aset. Many aspects to it. For one is her capacity to be elevated, to fly up above it all, and have that unified vision. Whereas we down here, like think of yourself on a mountain or in a pyramid. You're going up the pyramid, so you can climb up the pyramid. One person is on this side, sees one aspect of the land from the pyramid. Another person on the other side of the pyramid sees another aspect. They don't see the same thing. They're climbing up. But if you get to the very top of the pyramid, the pinnacle, you have a full 360 view. You have vision of everything. So when the goddess spreads her wings and flies up and rises above, she has that unified consciousness, that unitary consciousness of that one. That oneness, that is the essence of the one. Her wings also is what she uses to blow the north wind that comes forth from the god Ra. As it says in the scriptures, she uses her wings, to generate and to blow the north wind from the god Ra Tem onto the nose of the Asar, of the Aspirant, to rejuvenate the Asar, to heal the Asar, to revive the Asar. So there's that aspect of it also. She uses it to enfold in a protective way, as we do in the postures. She enfolds the Asar, and she protects and she heals. It's related, of course, to her imagery as her expression as in the zoomorphic form as the hawk. The hawk, as we know, Heru is a hawk, and Aset also is a hawk in the hawk family. And so the hawk, again, that vision to be able to see things not just up close and lose sight of what is important, but she has that vision of being able to penetrate, that penetrative vision, to see from afar. Like hawks can see their prey like a half a mile away, and they're very precise. So that precision she has to see what is it that where she's heading and what her intentions are, to have that precise intentions and to be able to effect that plan to achieve whatever it is that intention is. So the feathers have many different aspects, and those are some of them. If someone else has an aspect of the feathers that they want to share about, sorry, let me turn on the settings so that if anybody wants to share, you can turn on your everyone can turn on their webcams now if you want to turn on your camera and or your mic. So Heru have feathers, Ma'at has feathers, Shashida has feathers. Ni, it's very subtle. And the more you look at the panel, the more things you notice. the detail. So, I mean, if we think of the detail with which they created these panels, surely they want us to be attentive to the details of the panels as well, too, as an aspect. And that only comes with Sa'ank. Sa'ank also requires our devotion and attentiveness. That's two parts of the Sa'ank. One part is what we give, and the other part is what we receive. So we give our attentiveness and our devotion, and the other part we receive the blessings of the divine, which the essence of which is the knowledge of self that flows from Ra through the Neteru to us. I'll go ahead and play the rest of it. Thank you for joining. I will play the Aset visual, the visual of the full Aset of Aku song, homage to Goddess Aset, and Seba put that along with someone had created a 360 visual of the Holy of Holies of the Temple of Aset in Aswan. And so Seba put the music to that. So it's quite beautiful. So I will play that, and that can be further devotional alignment to your Goddess Aset cosmic principle. Hatet, peace and blessings, and thank you for joining. Next week, I may start a little earlier since it's taken a little longer. I don't know what the scripture will be for next. Let me see if I can actually pull up the video, because for some reason when it recorded on here, it was like the sound was variable. Give me one moment. Sometimes I can just... It's on YouTube, so when I want to find it, and I just put Aset Aku, I think, a temple to meditation. That works. There it is.
Aku, 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 aku. Glory, 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 Aratiyam Hekau, Aratiyam Hekau. Dua Aset Netrita Aset, Dua Aset Netrita Aset, Dua Aset Nehasasa, Dua Aset Nehasasa. Sa. Aset Muheru, Aset Sehuheru, Aset Neteru Aset. Aku,
Dja, just sharing again for those who are still on. So, a key feature of the mind, which this meditation process is trying to capture also, is that the fact that you may be sitting in your living room or your altar, wherever you are, if you are being absorbed, if you're driving or doing something else active, but if you're just sitting and focus on the video in the temple, and you're so attentive to that, the scenes that are going on in the music, realize that your mind thinks that's where you are and that is what you are. So your mind will think you are the royal personality in that temple at this moment, looking around at these images in that Holy of Holies. That's how the mind works. So when we give the mind an image and a feeling, the mind thinks it's here and now, and it's going to have a reaction to that. That's going to express in terms of neuropeptides in the brain, neurochemical, neurotransmitters, hormones, everything that floods the body. So this is the power of what the sages, with all of these images there, you cannot help but be in divinity. So not even just to be in the temple, but the temple, it represents the body within which divinity resides. And that's the feeling. So feel it. Use the power of this is the set aspect of the personality, the egoistic aspect, the purified aspect is called double strength. It's the power of the mind and it's the power of the body. Strength of the body, strength of the mind. So this is the power of the mind to affect the power of the body. So this way, we are actually having a balance between the if we want to say the lower aspect of the personality, the lower elements of the personality, and the higher elements of the personality as well. When we are utilizing the senses, the mind, the eyes, the visuals, the hearing, the sound, we're utilizing the senses of the personality, and we are divinating them. We're spiritualizing them. We are aligning them with a deeper essence that is flowing through them. So it's very powerful. Stop in one more time to share. At the birth of Heru, in the same temple, in the birth room, I believe it's the senses were represented by who, I believe, which is the town, the taste, that represents to like, what are you tasting? What are you feeling? What are you experiencing? And also relates to the speech and divine speech, many things going there. And the other one was Sa, feeling. So the temple is definitely about eliciting feeling as well. Feeling blended with the wisdom, blended with the devotion, blended with the wisdom, blended with the meditation. So feel it as if you're there. This is the pedestal, the altar that would have the sacred divinity, a statue, perhaps even the bark, the boat that the sacred divinity, the shrine would be in. So feel that her presence there as you look at the altar. Feel that you are there. Sacred altar. On the left here, we see the image. We're going to, we may be stuck on Aset for another week. I can't promise we'll go to Asar next week, but perhaps we will. But they're one and the same. Whether we're embracing Aset, we're also always embracing Asar. They are together as one. If we are focusing on Asar, we are also talking about Aset. So we will do a panel similar to this when we do Asar. So it will still be about Aset in a way. But feel that you're protected. Though somebody asked about the wings, there are the wings. Look what she's doing with the wings. She's fanning the air. She's supporting the physical body of Asar. She's reviving it. She's protecting it. Healing it. All that. So again, this is not her temple. This is your temple. Because the essence of Aset is your innermost heart essence. So this is a representation of the construct of the walls within your heart, within which Aset abides as your own deeper essence. And you can see it's like a fortress. It's protective. It's safe. It's a safe space. And Dua for Muhammad for that view of the temple, the person who did the video. So with that, we will end today's program.
You need to tell Worry, you've been with me long enough. Sorry, you've lost your lease.
We'll end today's program. Om Hatap, 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 Hatap. Om peace, 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 peace. To us at Netritas at Anatesh. Aset.